Who are the top 5 Catholic fictional characters, according to Reddit? Before we start the official list, let's look at some honorable mentions. In the West Wing, President Josiah Bartlett's mother was a Roman Catholic, his father a religious Protestant. Due to the poor relationship with him, Josiah chose to follow the faith of his loving mother. Bartlett remained a devout Roman Catholic, attending church every Sunday. In The Curse of Capistrano, Zorro is portrayed as not only Catholic, but a strong ally of the church, which sided with the oppressed poor against tyrannical local authorities. One of the few recurring characters in the series is a Franciscan friar, Father Felipe, who is often an ally of Zorro. Daredevil, also known as Matt Murdock, often showed his Catholic faith throughout his adventures. The pilot episode shows Murdock confessing to a priest. The audience learns he's visiting his childhood parish. His Catholicism stems from his grandmother. Murdock believes using his superhuman abilities to protect others is God's will, and his version of the corporal works of mercy, where Christ's servants will devote themselves to helping the hungry, the homeless, and the sick. Now let's start the top 5 fictional Catholic characters. Number 5. Dana Scully in The X-Files. The series followed the quest of FBI Special Agents Fox Mulder, a believer in supernatural phenomena, and Dana Scully, his skeptical partner. Several episodes, characters, and story arcs deal directly with the notion of religion. A main facet of the series is that, despite Mulder being the believer and Scully being the skeptic, Scully was a devout Roman Catholic in her youth. Throughout the series, her Catholic faith served as a cornerstone, although at times a contradiction to her otherwise rigid skepticism of the paranormal. She was certainly a lapsed Catholic early in the show, but continued to find her faith as the series progressed. Several of the standalone episodes deal with Scully's faith, her questions about God, and her mission in life. She could often be seen wearing a small golden cross around her neck, a Christmas gift from her mother at a young age. While fighting cancer, Scully refused spiritual guidance from Father McHugh. When death seemed near, she broke down and asked the priest to minister to her faith. Number 4. Rocky. While his Catholicism didn't necessarily serve as a central theme to the movie, you could see how it played a major role in his life. Early on in the first movie, they show a large mural of Christ holding a chalice in one hand and the Eucharist in the other. Rocky returns to fight in this location in the 5th movie. He always prays before his fights. He also prayed in a beautiful Catholic chapel when Adrian got sick. He gets married in the Catholic Church, and he always calls on Father Carmine to throw down blessings on him. Some believe that his faith was the main reason that he always won against all odds, seeing as how Rocky was much smaller than many of his opponents, was hit in the face more than any other person on the planet, and would still always turn around and win. Could it be that the explanation involves divine intervention or his apostolic connections? Number 3. Father Damien Karras, a fictional character from the 1971 novel The Exorcist, and one of the main protagonists in the 1973 film of the same title. Father Karras was one of the priests who exorcises the demon from young Regan McNeil. He is a Jesuit psychiatrist, suffering a crisis of faith. He searches for proof to lead an exorcism, yet during his investigation, he comes to realize that there is no better way for God to prove his own existence than to reveal the foul presence of a demon. During the exorcism, the demon frequently brings up the subject of Karras's mother's death and how he wasn't there to see her die, which seems to trouble Karras emotionally. Karras beats the possessed Regan in a fit of rage and demands that the demon take him instead. The demon rips the medallion of St. Joseph from Karras's neck and possesses him, freeing Regan in the process. Karras then jumps out of the window, tumbling down the stone stairs outside. This caused his own death and the purging of the demon within him. Number 2. Nightcrawler. A fictional comic book character produced by Marvel, he mostly appeared in the X-Men series. Nightcrawler is a Catholic, and while this is not emphasized as much in his earlier comic book appearances, in later depictions, he is more vocal about his faith. In the 44th episode of the animated series, Rogue and the Wolverine take a ski trip to Germany. They hear rumors that a demon is hiding within a local monastery in town. However, when he investigates, he finds not a demon, but a fellow mutant, who despite his devilish appearance is a philosophical and pious Catholic. Nightcrawler is a monk living inside a monastery, because the townspeople fear his appearance and have mistaken him for a demon. However, the X-Men convince the townspeople not to fear what they don't understand, and the episode ends with the famous Wolverine praying in a French cathedral, having found his faith again. Number 1. Father Brown. Father Brown is a fictional Roman Catholic priest and amateur detective. He is featured in 53 short stories by English author G.K. Chesterton, published between 1910 and 1936. Father Brown is a short, plain Roman Catholic priest with shapeless clothes, a large umbrella, and an uncanny insight into human behavior. His unremarkable, seemingly naive appearance hides an unexpectedly sharp intelligence and keen powers of observation. Brown uses his unimposing demeanor to his advantage when studying criminals, to whom he seems to pose no danger. His job as a priest allows him to blend into the background of a crime scene, as others can easily assume he is merely there on spiritual business. Brown's crime-solving method can be described as intuitive and psychological. His process is to reconstruct the perpetrator's methods and motives using imaginative empathy, combined with an encyclopedic criminal knowledge he has picked up from parishioner confessions. Father Brown is characteristically humble and is usually rather quiet, except to say something profound. Although he tends to handle crimes with a steady, realistic approach, he believes in the supernatural as the greatest reason of all.